Hello, and welcome to On Stage at the BACP. As always, thank you so much for choosing to invite us into your home, office, or wherever it is that you're joining us from today. Before I go on and introduce you to this week's guest, another one of our nonprofit organizations, I wanted to give you the results from our Zoom event. First of all, thank you to all of the playwrights, directors, and actors who were involved in this adventure. And it was truly an adventure. We had some technical difficulties, but worked all that out, and I think that the audience had a good time. They certainly showed it by their voting for our audience favorite. And now, here's a little clip to let you know all about the audience favorite voting. Congratulations to all of you. We're so thankful, as I mentioned before, for all of the participation on the side of actually writing, producing, and directing the show, but also for those of you who joined us online. Now, on to this week's guest. Today we're welcoming someone from the Broken Arrow Genealogical Society. Please welcome Marmee Apsley. Welcome to the Broken Arrow Community Playhouse, Marmee.
Thank you.
It's not your first time. You've actually been, have you been on the board?
No.
Okay, but you've been an actor and you come and see our shows all the time.
Well, and I volunteered years. I helped paint behind the scenes over on the warehouse when we were there.
Okay. So. Unfortunately, we don't have time to go into all of that today. We're here to talk about something else, the Broken Arrow Genealogical Society. Right. Tell us about that.
Well, it was started in 1976. Two women who were into the hobby and decided we needed one in Broken Arrow. So we started out with, when it got to the point where they had some books, they had two shelves in the local library to put genealogy books on, which at the time was the only entity of Broken Arrow library system that any group was allowed to put their own books there, which was interesting. I didn't come until 1978, but I had already started doing family research, and I got involved right away. And then as we grew, we were using too many shelves for books in the library, or we had too many books for what we had. So then we were rotating the shelves. One of the ladies would keep the books at her house, and then every month she'd take a bunch of them from her house to the library and take the others off the shelves. We did back and forth like that for a long time.
Oh, wow.
And then we finally got a place when the whole area here where we're located now, in the end of the building where the senior center activities room is now, was, and the Historical Society was at the very end, and the library, genealogy library, was right behind it on the other side.
Okay. I remember that because you were our neighbor. And
right.
Yeah.
So we were there. So then when the museum was built, then we were part of the bond issue that helped finance building. So therefore, Genealogy Society was entitled to have a room there. Awesome. So that's when we moved. And actually, we moved into the actual building of the museum before the museum was open, because we were all organized. The shelves were there. We had the books. So we were able to move them from this location into the museum.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I was down there with you earlier today. We took some pictures, which we'll be showing during this conversation. And that's quite a step up from a few shelves at the library to what you have now.
Absolutely.
Wow.
We have family histories, county histories, all types of books from different genealogy societies and groups, starting with Alaska and going around the room to
Wyoming. I checked it out.
Yes. Did you? Okay, yes, Wyoming. Some states we don't have very much. Some of them we have quite a lot of information, most of which has been donated. Through the years, we did buy books on occasion, but most of it has been donated by people that used it at home and then didn't need it anymore or something like that. We have a fantastic Civil War collection that was in the back of a bookstore in Tulsa on 31st Street for a long time. The man there was a member of the Sons of Confederate Veterans, and he had area to house the organization's library. Well, then when he moved, he didn't, and so we were contacted. Actually, it was kind of funny because this person called and said, "Marmy, I have a hypothetical question." If we were to get a large donation of books along with the shelves to put them on and other things, would we have room for it? That's when we were in the end of this building.
Oh.
And I said, well, I think so. And so I called the city Parks and Recreation, and I can't remember his name. He's retired recently, that was there for a long time. And I said, I have a hypothetical question. And it ended up, yes, there was room. They cut a door in from where our library was at the time into what is now the, I think it's where all the exercise equipment is in the senior center.
Okay.
And so we had an additional room for that collection of books. And so.
And then it was perfect when you moved into your space that
Yes.
you're in right now. That's awesome.
It was right. But it is mostly Confederate because that's the organization it belonged to. One of our volunteers did a tremendous job in indexing, and actually on CDs we have an index to a lot of the Civil War burials.
Oh.
And they aren't all from local because people found out about the library, and so they would send information. So it's arranged by state and arranged by surnames. So,
wow. So people can come in and view the books and do research there. I know you've got like a microfilm machine.
We have two microfilms and computers, and we have membership in Ancestry, so anyone can use our computers if they want to research an ancestry if they don't have their own.
Okay, and there's someone there, I'm assuming you have volunteers that come in to kind of help people who,
Yes.
like, if I was to start, I have no idea where to begin.
Yeah, we volunteers there when the museum's open from 10 to 2 on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday. And the volunteers have different levels, I guess you could say, of expertise, but generally everybody knows how to refer somebody if they're looking. And the books are, of course, not checked out. They have to be used on site, but we have copy machines so they can be copied. And if anyone's interested. So.
Okay, so how has the pandemic affected what you're able to do there?
Well, it has affected us in a couple ways. Some volunteers are hesitant yet. They're not ready to get out, and so we haven't had as many volunteers. But at the same time, people are not coming in as much as they could have. And for all genealogy libraries, the fact that so much is available on computer has really changed the number of people that research on site.
Sure.
And people don't realize that the libraries like ours have one of a kind. They may have the information, the book that they've been looking for that had great-grandpa's information in or something, and that they haven't been able to find anywhere else. But you don't know unless you come in to check it out.
Exactly. So how is it changing? I mean, are you, now that we're in the new year, we've got a lot of people who've already had the virus, a lot of people who've gotten the vaccination. Anything changing? I mean, are your hours still the same?
The hours will stay the same. They've been that for a long time, and we've kept always those hours, and that's going to stay the same. And as far as coming in, it's always open. I mean, the hours that I have mentioned, But it is rare, unfortunately, for people to actually come in and use the library. Now, we did have somebody that was in, some time ago that was working on some Broken Arrow history, and they were there almost every time it was open, going through the microfilm of the Broken Arrow Ledger, because we have those from 1904 and on up through 1970 something, I believe, is the last one. Just the ledger, and then we have microfilm from many, many different states, census records and things. So it's a pretty extensive collection as well.
Wow. And then, like, during those same hours when there's a volunteer there, if someone has a question, they could call and ask about, do you have this book, or...
They can. We don't have our own phone for the library.
Okay.
The phone is at the museum because we just can't afford to have a phone.
Well, you are a nonprofit, and definitely there's no...
Yeah.
And which brings me to the question, is there a charge to come in and use the facilities?
No,
okay.
none whatsoever.
That's really nonprofit.
Yeah, that is nonprofit. And years ago, we used to have workshops with, and classes, and with bringing in some income. Now we don't have any income other than $20 a year is the annual membership, which has stayed the same for a long time. And then we do ask donations if somebody comes in and find something. They charge for copying on a copy machine if need be. And we do get mail inquiries sometimes, and we'll do research for somebody, and then we generally will ask for a donation. So that's the only income we have anymore. So
okay, so you are in the museum building, which is
Right.
at 400 South Main, is
Yes.
that correct? Okay, so that's one way people can find you on the days and times that you mentioned. You also have a website and a Facebook page that they can go and look for
Right.
you, or they can just Google Broken Arrow Genealogical Society, right? Cool, all right.
And they will, if somebody from out of town is here and wants to research on a day that we're not open, there's somebody they can call. I mean, the museum can call somebody to meet them there, because I've been in that position where I've gone and really wanted to, say, oh, well, the library's not open today, and I'm only in that town for that day, and so, so we try to be accommodating in that way.
Oh, that's great.
The other project we have that we started last year is that we have indexed over 6,000 names from obituaries in Broken Arrow that are from record books that we have. And so those are available through our website. If somebody wants to, the index is there. And if someone needs or wants a copy of one of those obituaries, they can order it through PayPal, or they can send, order through the mail and send us a check. But it's $5 for a copy. Oh, wow. Some of the obituaries are quite extensive. Some are not.
Yeah.
It's just
you have no control over that.
That's right. But that has been a major job we've worked on. So.
Wow. Oh, I applaud you, and it's all done with volunteer labor. I want to definitely mention that. I mean, volunteers, where would we be without our volunteers?
Absolutely.
That's great. Well, Marmy, thank you so much for being here today.
Well, you're welcome. I'm just happy to have been here. This has been fun. I always like to talk about genealogy. So.
Well, you do it very well, so thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Well, I hope you enjoyed meeting Marmy and learning more about the Broken Arrow Genealogical Society. If you're interested in finding out more about your family history, I'm sure she or one of the other volunteers down there would love to help you. That's all for this week. I hope that you'll be back next week, that you'll choose to invite us in again yet for another On Stage at the BACP.